Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.
And 3, and speaking of Mace, played a big part in the whole situation. So, because Mace want to laugh and lie about the situation, let's get into it, bro. I want to get into this. I want to tell you that Mace had a duty and an obligation to his label mate, the notorious B.I.G., Christopher Latour Wallace. Mace had a duty as a label mate to tell Chris, these dudes want you dead. Prior to the Peterson Museum, Mace and Stevie J went to a celebrity basketball game. They let the dudes, I don't know if it was the dudes from the Dog Pound, it was the dudes that was Crips, they let Stevie J and Mace know, we want Puff and we want Big. Mace felt like he was safe, laying down there, throwing up West Coast signs with them. Mace came back from that game. He let me know, and he let Puff know that he was good. They wanted Puff and Big dead. He told me, he told Puff. He never mentioned a damn thing to Big. As his label mate, he had an obligation. As a fellow New Yorker, he had an obligation to tell Big.
Wow, guys, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Listen, man, Gene Deal is upset. He pretty much upset because of what has happened. There has been something to happen over there. It is what it is. Said some things, and he wasn't really cool with it. But I have a guy here who was there that night, that day, actually seen Gene Deal, and seen P. Diddy the day Biggie died, was martyred. Hey, listen, this guy right here, guys, he knows what happened when it come down to seeing from afar. OG Pyru, you there?
Yeah. Man,
I just like that intro, OG. I introed you.
Man, hey, look here. I'm going to repeat that and put it on my channel.
OG, you looking for the nigga who was there that day when I introed you. Listen, Gene Deal is out here. Shout out to Art of Dialogue. Dialogue is Art over there is a dope dude, man. He give great interviews, man, about all the stuff that happened in the in the 90s, man. He reached back in his bag like we reach back, and he share a lot of our stuff, and I wanted to speak on this, man. But man, look at my boy Gene, man. Listen, you told me about this on the interview. Break this down to me, because you've heard this. Me and you listen to this. What do you think about what he's saying about Biggie and what happened during this time? Being that you were one guy that was on detail during the same time, doing, security and stuff for different celebrities. Walk me through what happened that day.
First of all, let me say this. It's this awful sad, and it's petty that this grown man, would accuse another artist, and then your security, and you say that he came and told you, and he told Puffy, but he didn't tell Biggie. Well, he told the two people that knew that Biggie was getting murdered anyway.
Wow.
So if it had been that essential, why didn't he? And he don't know whether he told Biggie or not. And Biggie may not have believed it. But you never said nothing to Biggie. I was there when they first, it's called the SLS now, but it was called Hotel Nico at the time.
Okay.
When they pulled up about 2 o'clock to check in, Puffy jumps out of the SUV. Biggie comes out, and Gene Deal come out. And when Biggie and Gene Deal come out, they didn't go to the hotel. They ran across the street with their big asses to go get burgers from Fat Burgers that was across the street.
Okay.
Now, since he's tattletaling on who knew, why doesn't he ever say anything? Because actually, his detail was on Puffy. He was a priority. Puffy was his priority. Biggie wasn't. Biggie didn't actually have security. But when Captain Shaheed Muhammad got at Puffy, because everybody in the world and Christopher Wallace knew that it was bad feelings to come to the West Coast. I'm going back to Cali. They set him up.
Okay,
So
but OG,
his
let me ask you this. That day when you seen him, you see Gene and you see Puffy come to the hotel, and you and Captain Shaheed is just standing out there?
I was on the detail at the time with Black Ground Records. Barry Hankerson, Genuine, Missy Elliott, Aaliyah, and Magoo. Magoo had just brought Magoo out then.
Okay, so you got Magoo, Aaliyah, Barry Hankerson, all of them are staying at a hotel Nico.
At Hotel Nico.
And then P. Diddy and Gene them come to, I guess, register to be at that hotel, and y'all standing outside.
That's what I just told you the other day that I missed out. I was Big Shot, and Erykah Badu was in the lobby.
The same day.
Asked me for my that same day.
So Erykah Badu was there too. I'm just painting a picture. All of y'all at the where I stayed last time at the SLS, which is used to be Hotel Nico. Kurt Franklin was there that day too.
Kurt Franklin was there. She's married to a what's her name? Lil Bow Wow. Who's with the girl with Lil Bow Wow?
Sierra?
That's the no, the little gay girl.
Brat, the Brat.
The Brat, and what's their producer's name?
Jermaine Dupri.
Jermaine Dupri, that whole crew, because
that was a good time, OG. Everybody was at that damn hotel Nico like that.
That was the hotel you majorly went to in that time. Hotel Nico. Mike Tyson was there. Everybody went to the Nico at that time, bro.
So Gene was there, standing out there like security, standing watching what was going on with P. Diddy.
No, he didn't do none of that. I told you, him and Biggie ran over to get burgers.
Him and Biggie?
Him and Biggie jumped out of the car. Puffy came when he got to the lobby, and Captain Shaheed approached him. Gene Deal. We'll talk about the two police that was with Puffy at the time when Captain Shaheed approached him, and Puffy told Shaheed, no, we got this. And Greg Keaton and another undercover police officer told Shaheed exactly who he was, and they didn't need him. So on your detail that Puffy told you, and you are aware that it was other people on the detail.
So he's the main guy that's basically dealing with these other guys too. So he's supposed to spread that word around if they all together, looking out for Bad Boy.
And anything that I bring to you, why would I tell Miss Jamaica if it's a hit on him and you're over Miss Jamaica? I report to you and you report to him. So if Mace told him and Puffy, that was his job. That was all he was supposed to do.
So he's not
security.
Exactly. And so basically him blaming Mace now, saying Mace wanted to take Biggie's spot, and basically it was his responsibility and he let him down by not telling him. You don't agree with that?
And that's the most absurd thing you ever. But now we deal with this again. Your security. You're in the same proximity in another car at the same time and watch one of your people gets shot, and somebody that already told you earlier that they were supposed to be killing them, and you knew when you came from the East Coast that it was a very tense situation. So how did everybody get so lax? And if they was gonna kill Puffy and Biggie, how come Puffy ain't dead?
Wow, wow, wow. OG, this is what brought this up. I'm gonna play a little bit of it, man. It is what it is. Podcast was laughing about how when it happened, how people were hiding behind cars and why. Listen at this.
Had left out. He was the only one there. So you got Biggie passed away, security not busting their hammer, Puff get on a private jet, everybody going, and Mace figured his way to get out of here. So we was talking about, he said, Cam, that's why you just see me running around with nobody sometimes. Ain't nobody do shit. I'm better off by myself. It's funny, but not funny.
Yeah, when they go, cow, cow.
Yeah.
You know, you by yourself. Everybody trying to make it home.
Yeah.
Especially behind cars. I just want to go home. I just want to be home.
Right. But that's part of it.
Wow, I just want to go home, May say. I just want to be home, and they were hiding behind cars. And this triggered Gene to come out. Gene Deal come out, and he's upset because of them laughing and saying that, you know, the security was hiding behind cars and like they didn't do what they supposed to done when it comes down to, you know, being there for Biggie. Is what triggered Gene Deal, and he's not good with this. He don't want you saying that. Now he comes up and says Mace was pretty much to be blamed because he didn't go and tell Biggie, Christopher Wallace.
Biggie's death is on him and Puffy. They are the ones that made it possible.
Wait a minute. So you saying Biggie's death is on Gene Deal and Puffy?
As being security, it was his responsibility to look out for that man's life when he knew that it was an active threat after Pac got killed. They was not supposed to be back on this West Coast. How did he get tricked to come out here? He didn't make the arrangement himself. Even on the record, it says what? LA, Cali. We going back to Cali.
Damn sure did, OG. It sure said that like he was surprised.
Hey B, get up. Get up. What? Come on, get up. We're going where? Going back to Cali. Cali? Word?
Whoa, that's what it said, OG. I remember I remember I was like, man, don't go. I remember I was like, don't go, man. Don't go. I remember like it was yesterday, man. Let that alone, bro. Let that die. Let that cool off a little bit, man. Stay up here and just do your music. But they were so determined to go back down to Cali.
No, Biggie wasn't determined. Sean Puffy Combs and both of them in a position. You just told me that Gene Deal says he stays in Arizona. All rats go to Arizona.
Yeah, I think he definitely wasn't on the East Coast when I talked to him that time. Now where he's at now, I don't know, but he was like, I'm not even there.
You just told me he was in Arizona.
Yeah, I did, because I believe that's where he said he was at, in Arizona. We talked on the phone, and this was about 2 years ago.
And looking at that ugly soccer jacket, sweatshirt thing he got on, he don't look like he exercised at all. Put a suit on and a shirt and a tie. Look businesslike, Gene Deal. You're not sports looking. You're not athletic looking. You look like a big tomato.
Yeah, he told me, yeah, you should know I'm not in New York. I'm like, I didn't know. I was in New Jersey at the time, and we was just talking about doing an interview together, but that was just that one time, bro. And you know, I didn't know where he was from. I was given his number passed on by a couple of people saying I needed to interview him when I was up on the East Coast. But I hadn't followed him that much then. He was just starting to, you know, bubble and do his runs about, you know, being the security for Diddy and, you know, for Bad Boy. So I really was just, yeah, that's his main thing to talk about. So, you know, when I look over at him now and I see he's upset, and it's still but a lot of the stuff he said, a lot of the things he done, he even showed up to court the other day, you know, and somebody was pretty much speaking out against him, and he was like, man, you know, don't say that. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. You know, he's been had a lot of different things going on with this Diddy trial popping up, and him been speaking on that stuff. And he was pretty much he's made a hell of a brand for himself for this whole situation, the way it played out.
Well, yeah, he made a brand for himself as a tattletale, but it's awful funny. The big security man he is, he never had a job after Puffy.
Wow, he never had a job after Puffy, OG?
What other celebrity you seen him do a detail on?
I never seen him do a detail with nobody else, but you in that field. I mean, he might say the same about you. You didn't have a job after Aaliyah.
He couldn't have said that about me because I just left. I just got back this morning.
Oh,
I just did a detail with Barry Hankerson's one of his #1 producers just now.
Wow, you still doing details.
I'm active, man. I done told you that.
OG Pyru still active, man. He out here in these streets, man. God.
I just come out the club.
Wow, man, that's crazy, man. But at the end of the day, man, just pretty much in closing, do you think, again, I'm gonna ask you this one more time, do you think Mace had an obligation at all, or do you feel like Gene Deal, Puffy was altogether the ones to be blamed?
Mace performed his due diligence. He came back and told security what he heard, and he told the owner of the record label what he heard. You don't know what he said to Biggie because Biggie dead and gone. So what did Gene Deal do to prevent that? Security is prevention.
Wow.
So if somebody had told me that, you wouldn't even went to the Peterson Museum. We'd have passed that up. It's a gang of things that we've done. And we didn't just heard some rumors about some things. Mike, we're not going here tonight. B. Brown, we're not doing this today. Well, man, come on, we just go there for a minute. No, we not. It ain't cool right now.
So you deterred, being that you was with Bobby Brown, them making certain decisions with those guys on the detail, seeing certain things, you'd have detoured B. Brown another way. You'd have detoured Mike Tyson another way if you felt that was an issue and you had been told or forewarned by somebody.
Bruh, that's what you hired me for. So if you think you know better than me, I'm going home.
Wow. Thank you, OG. You said it all. Guys, get in the comments. Let us know what you think about this situation. Was it Mace at fault or was it Gene Deal? Do you agree with OG Pyru that it was pretty much a thing where Puffy and Gene Deal had been already forewarned and it was their obligation to take care of what was going on with Biggie? Or do you feel like Mace should have went to Biggie and said what he said to them? We don't know if he did or if he didn't, as OG stated. But at the end of the day, get in the comments and let us know. And if you're still watching, make sure you watch this next clip. Ray Janae had this to say about her dad's new album, The Carter, and OG Pyru had a lot to say too. But boy, you gonna trip because this next one here, man, listen, you wanna hear what was said because, man, Lil Wayne, did he do it right or did he do it wrong? Boss Talk 101 review.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.